When you hear a compelling story, you're storing data. You're gathering data.
That is true.
But you're also making a connection with humanity.
You're listening to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast with Suzanne Sole, episode 75. Hello, you sensational starseeds, and welcome to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast, where we get into the mad scene the healing and spiritual awakening journey can be. I'm your host, Suzanne Sole, comedian, lifelong spiritual student, and I'm sharing some of the shizdom I've learned along my journey that has helped me, and that I hope helps you too. Welcome to part 3 of my conversation with the effervescent and charming Stephanie Rogers, founder of Chicago's Story Jam, storytelling teacher, writer, performer, and the woman who could take a room full of strangers and turn them into a deeply bonded emotional support group with sing-alongs and stories. In part 3, we talk about the magic of storytelling, why it matters, how Stephanie got pulled into the art form, what she teaches in her classes, and all the storytelling opportunities all over the joint. And we also share what's happening for Story Jam and why you should give a shit about her sparkly pants. Let's get into it. Steph, are you there?
We're hopefully prepared, and we hopefully have a loving audience. We have created a room in which people feel welcome and loved and heard. And we have voices here that need to be respected and loved. And then also it's entertainment and it's fun. So the show goes on.
It's so good. So what drew you to storytelling and finding such importance in storytelling? Because I really got that from you, especially, telling your own story and giving a platform for others to tell their story. And so where did that come from? Like, sharing your voice in that way. Yeah.
I've always been so interested in people and their stories, I'm so fascinated by people. So there's something that happens in the brain when you hear a story. When someone tells you a compelling story, there's this neurological reaction that happens where you do two things. One is you listen intently because it's like, okay, I'm watching Indiana Jones and I'm seeing Indiana Jones go through all this shit, and maybe someday I'll be in that position. So if I ever confront a snake or get chased by, then I will know what to do because Indiana Jones is telling me what to do in this movie. And the same thing with a story. So when you hear a compelling story, you're storing data. You're gathering data.
That is true.
But you're also making a connection with humanity. A good story will touch the audience. We can feel it in the room.
Yeah.
People are moved. People are changed. And it's like, gosh, I'm not alone. I'm not alone like I thought I was in this whatever struggle.
Yes.
So it's not doom and gloom. My goal is to elevate the vibration. Again, spiritual talk, but my goal is to elevate the room and to elevate the vibration in the room and elevate the joy in the room. So we're having fun, and it is storytelling fun, but there are moments where it's like, let me just tell you some shit that when you have your podcast episode talking about your sobriety, I was like, now that's a story. That's a girl who can tell a story.
Get your popcorn.
Because you had all the elements. You had conflict, you had resolution, you had truth and profound vulnerability and honesty. And then you had humor, which we say in storytelling, humor plus vulnerability equals storytelling magic. That's it. And then the writing and the crafting of your story was also brilliant.
Thank you.
So you had this perfect package of story that made me not want to stop listening to it. When it ended, I was like, oh, that's it?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That means so much to me, coming from you, especially.
Well, thank you. Because I am not easy on story. Like
I've heard stories. I've heard them all.
I've heard the stories. You better tell me some. I mean, but we're not talking about necessarily telling stories, sharing stories like in a bar. Although that's great too.
That's fun too. Sure.
That's fun too. But we're talking about crafting. Your piece is a crafted story, and that's what we want. We want to share with our audiences because we want them to feel stuff.
Yeah. So for you, like being able to tell your own story and use your own voice, was there a journey in that for you?
That's the tricky wickle. I am not in love with telling my story. This podcast has been excruciating.
Sorry. Show her what she's won, Bob.
Look under your chair.
That's right.
And leave immediately.
That's right. For telling you a story.
No, I do love being with you. It's just a blast. This is a blast.
Thank you.
No.
Vice versa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But no, I prefer to spotlight other stories. Telling your own story. I struggle. It's funny. This is again one of these little jokes. It's like, good one. I get to go and teach people how to tell their stories. I get to talk to, I get to do this show and stuff, but I don't find the joy in standing up in front of the audience and telling. Of course I do it. During the pandemic, my friends were like, well, you teach this shit. You should probably get up and do it sometime. Yeah. I used to do it at Story Jam sometimes, but I was like, oh God. So this means I've got to go win a moth. Like I not only do I have to go to the moth and sign up and get picked. Right. I have to fucking win this thing.
That's right. Because I am Story Jam lady.
I'm Story Jam lady. You can't suck. I can't screw this. I can't suck.
Did you hear Story Jam lady? You got third place. We're putting it in the Chicago Reader.
There's everyone gets a trophy in
That's
storytelling.
Right.
You either win or you suck, okay? So I knew I couldn't. So, but I was so kind of nervous about the whole thing. I was like, well, gosh, maybe I'm a phony. Maybe I'm telling everybody how to do this stuff all over the place, but maybe I don't know how to do it. Let me find out. So I was half-heartedly dropped my name in, and I half-heartedly had a story prepared, but I kind of had it really prepared. But I was so nervous that I didn't. They say like when you're memorizing your story, or if you have a script and you're memorizing it, then you should really know it over prepare, like in a play, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people believe in that, over prepare to the point of then let it go and see what evolves. You know it so well that if you're nervous or if your scene partner says the wrong line, then you're still going to be okay because you know your shit really, really well. Well, I didn't. I was just so like, okay, I'm going to have to, I'll figure it out. But I did have a prepared story. I got called, I think I was 7th or 8th. And I knew Nestor Gomez was in the room, and he's the #1 storyteller in the world.
Oh, okay.
He's won more Moth slams and Grand Slams than anyone alive.
Oh, my goodness.
By the way, the Moth is the only storytelling competition show that I know of.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe there are other competition shows. Story Jam is not a competition.
Right.
It's just a show.
It's a performance.
It's a performance, but most of them are performances. Most of them are either open mics or performances. So anyway, this is a competition show, and it's the only one we have, so it's all we got. It's like you're going to win an Oscar or not, and that's the Moth Slam.
Right.
So I get up, they call my name. I actually said to my grandmother, who is deceased, this is the woo-woo stuff again. I said, Grandma, am I going to get called? And she said, or I heard, yes. And then, Grandma, am I going to win this? Pause. I'm like, come on, Grandma, got to win this. We don't have a choice. And she's like, yes. Luckily, I told the story, thankfully won it. And
oh
then
my gosh, how exciting.
And then it was like, phew. Yes. Now I did that.
Now I did it. Now I could say, everyone would say, did you tell your story? Yes, I did. And I won a Moth award. On
the first try.
Come on.
You know what? It was excruciating and I hated it. But I just really realized, that as much as I would love to do a solo show, I've thought about it for decades. As much as I would love to tell more stories and be up there, I just really love putting other people in the spotlight.
Midwifing stories out of others.
It's a joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But was there some sense of like a feeling of an accomplishment from, telling your story and putting it out there?
Yes, it's very freeing. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah,
a lot of people,
sure.
A lot of people say
that's been my experience for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you are putting yourself out here on your podcast. And I think that you're getting stuff off your chest. You're also healing. They have discovered that there is a healing effect. So neuroscience again has discovered that there is a healing effect. Not only are you giving a healing effect to yourself when you tell your story, especially those stories of trauma or real difficulty, you're actually having a therapeutic effect. And when you repeat it, it adds to the therapy adds to that result. But also you're giving that same effect to your audience because the audience, when they hear a story, that's particularly compelling. They are neuro-mirroring you. They find that the listener brain and the storyteller brain start to neuromirror. So if you start telling a story about running because you were running away from the wolves in Indiana Jones or whatever, then your motor cortex is lighting up, and so is the listener's motor cortex.
Oh my gosh!
I know,
that's incredible.
I know, isn't that cool? So if you have a smell, your olfactory senses are lighting up, and the more you tell a story in that compelling way that we are trying to get to, that artful way, then the more the audience's the brain. What's it called? The brain. That's what it's called. The more the brain is activated. And that is the fun of storytelling, because that's where our emotions lie, in these neurological responses. So,
that's incredible.
I find it really fun.
It is incredible. So you teach writing classes.
Yes. I teach storytelling and writing. I mean, I teach the writing or the crafting of story, but some people craft their stories just orally. They don't need to write them. So it depends on how you prefer.
Yeah.
But I teach in-person classes and then online classes, and I go into companies and I teach companies how to use storytelling in public speaking.
Well, they're saying the narrative is going to be the way to communicate everything.
Really?
So, that's that's the new storytelling is what's hot.
It's what's hot. Well, I do get a lot of people. Sometimes I'll even get, like a business person who is in charge of a bunch of stuff and they have a big job, but they don't really have those public speaking skills. And I go in there with, from the angle of storytelling. Let's tell stories. So if it's graphs and figures, let's make it a story, because that's more fun.
It is more fun and more interesting to listen to.
It is. Yeah. It's more. And then also, dear, C-suite person who is in charge of people, do they even know who you are? Do they know you have a team, and do they know you? Have they heard your story? Because it's kind of amazing.
Yes.
And as you know, I mean, I'm fascinated by people's stories. So I want to get the story from, like, you're giving a public speech to your sales team, but I want to find that story that's going to spark that sales team to want to do well for you, do well by you, and just
be inspired.
Yeah, and be inspired.
So what do you find so you do an online writing class?
Yes.
And you do in-person storytelling classes?
Yes.
Because I was looking at your website. Story Jam Studio, right?
Yes,
if people are interested.
Yes.
And what do you like? What do you find that the students most need?
Oh, they need to be heard.
Yeah.
Most of the time, my in-person classes, so there are 2 tracks that I do. I have the basic storytelling class, and then the more people who really want to learn how to craft their sobriety story or whatever. That's a different thing. That's like for personal, really, for betterment, for personal betterment in some way. The people who come to class who are just there to be heard, they're looking for they're looking for someone to acknowledge their life story. They may not want to write a memoir per se or stand up on a storytelling stage, but they do really want to be acknowledged. And everybody has a story. Everybody has many stories, and everybody has many amazing stories.
And in the skill set, though, what do you find that you need to nurture in them?
That's pretty much, well, besides the idea that they get to be heard,
right.
I nurture safe space so that they do feel comfortable sharing their stories. But then, a lot of people talk a lot, too much, and they give too much detail. So it's like, how do you edit out the stuff that we don't need?
Right.
Move the narrative forward without...
Trim the fat.
Yeah. Like if it's a cul-de-sac and the car was brown and then you went around okay, who cares?
Who was in the car?
I need the people and I need to know what happened. And, obviously we're interested in storytelling as an art. Right. So pull me along the story and make it intriguing and interesting. But how do you do that? Leave breadcrumbs. Don't tell me what happened. I actually made a huge storytelling mistake just moments ago. I told you this. I did something that I tell my classes, never do this. And I fucking did it, which is telling the story before you tell the story. Like people get up on stages and they say, okay, I'm going to tell you about the time I got sober. Or it's like, dude, you just gave the whole thing. You robbed us of the cookie. Like give me I don't want to just gobble the cookie. I want to chew the cookie. I want to enjoy the cookie. So it's such a shame when someone actually gives away. And I did that very thing, not but 2 minutes ago when I was telling you about my moth experience,
yes.
which is, I said, I was talking to my grandma. I had already told you that I got called, but I said, and then I asked my grandma, will I get called? But you already knew I was going to get called. Huge storytelling mistake. Never do that.
I still enjoyed it though. I will tell you.
Thank you.
It was still a good story.
Thank you.
Yes, but I love that. But that's like goes to your point of talking about, moving through, knowing things aren't always going to be perfect and just keep going.
Yes.
Because I think that stops us so much. I mean, I know a lot of people, including myself, that I was working on a project and, I either put it up and it didn't go well and I was just so embarrassed that I never did it again.
Oh.
I know. That's the worst.
Oh, that sucks.
Because tolerating the embarrassment, I think, is like half the battle.
Oh gosh. I guess it's like, what is your barometer for embarrassment really?
Yes.
Is 100%. What that is, right?
Yes.
And that probably goes back to our childhoods. Like, I don't want to be embarrassed either. Nobody wants to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
I think I care less and less. I mean, I am less invested in, I have been embarrassed many, many times. And, it's always fleeting, kind of, you think like, this is just a moment. And maybe people don't care. Nobody cares.
I mean, really, I love to look at that one thing that they say, people think so much less about you than you think they do. They're thinking about themselves.
That's true.
And what you're thinking of them.
That's true. I walked into a party last week and I was wearing these shiny glitter pants that were like full of sequins.
Fabulous.
Okay? They were fabulous. They were green and they were shiny. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk into this room and everybody's going to be like, cool pants. Hey, I walk in the room, not a head turn.
Not one.
Not one. And I was like, you know what? Nobody gives a shit about my sequin pants right now. I can't believe
You're
this.
like, hi, Stephanie Rogers here. Why don't you give a shit about my sparkly pants? Go.
I wanted to make an announcement. And so
Yeah,
give me a
exactly.
megaphone. Hello. Is anybody looking here?
I just want to know if anyone noticed my sparkling pants.
Nobody gave two shits. And I don't think they cared about the thing that we care so much about and obsess over. And we do obsess because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But
do you think it's like, this is just coming to me. Sometimes I get these little light bulbs. Do you think those moments, those fear of embarrassment or those embarrassment moments are really more about our relationship with ourselves?
What do you mean?
I mean, saying like how we react and perceive embarrassment. Because like we're saying, if no one gives a shit about what we're doing, I mean, not in a negative way, but no one's like taking score.
Right.
Oh, she made this mistake and this mistake on Thursday and then this other mistake last week. You know what I mean? Like no one's doing that except for us.
Because we're so hard on ourselves, right?
Right.
We're so hard on ourselves.
Yes.
It's a challenge to not be hard. It's a challenge.
Yes.
It's a worthy challenge because why? You right?
Yeah. And so it's like that would be a really interesting, I think, perspective whenever those come up. It's like, I'm just really having a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm going, oh my God, that was so embarrassing. I won't be able to tolerate it again. Yes. But you're just like, no one else is in this conversation but me and myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's really like could be helpful to look at it like that,
I know. I love that. I'm going to definitely embrace that idea,
I'm embracing it too because I just thought of it 2 seconds ago and I was like, oh my God, how like liberating, like I have this imaginary audience who's with this sneer and they're looking at me and they're like, can't believe you fucked up like that. How could you ever show your face again? But it's really me.
You're the one.
Part of the audience is myself.
You're the audience and you're the performer. Oh, this is so existential. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the performer, I'm the critic, I'm the audience.
I'm surprised to hear you even say that, though. I mean, it's so endearing, though, when someone does reveal that how questioning they can be about their own amazing talent.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
endearing, but it's also like, gosh, what a shame. Because I mean, you'd probably be a big asshole if you walked around in the space of knowing what a great performer you are.
Oh, golly gee.
Maybe nobody would
Keep
like
it coming.
Maybe
Okay.
nobody would like you,
You're
Suzanne.
like, she really loves herself.
I'm conflicted by this because you're talking about these self-doubts that really have no business existing. Probably,
I know.
Right? But you're also by sharing them with us and by sharing our true feelings about things, which we discover at storytelling,
Yes.
in storytelling, you really are being vulnerable, and it's lovable.
Thank you.
That's a weird balance, though, that conflict,
Yeah,
right?
I'm really just trying to like discover and grow and evolve. And it's like part of the reason I have this podcast, and I have gained so much insight and so much like new ideas and expanded ideas about life and about, and what you say, like, we're not alone. Like, I have heard my story being told through others, when they're on my podcast, and I'm listening and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Like you said,
Yes.
And this has just been such a gift to me to do this podcast and to have amazing guests like yourself on the show. Yeah, what you do is extraordinary. You are so bold, and you are just such a trailblazer.
Oh, thanks.
And I do, and I see anytime I see you, I scroll, and there she is and
again.
I'm like, no, I love it. I'm like, what's she doing now?
Life is interesting. It's sort of more interesting the more we feel we get to create something, right?
Yeah.
And every show I do, I just want it to be new and different. Yeah. Like, how is this one? What are we going to do? What little thing are we going to do make a difference? So lucky to be able to do this creative work. And I would say that this podcast is extraordinary, and you are doing extraordinary things.
I appreciate that. Look at the time really quick. Okay. Yes. So
we're out of time.
You're out of touch.
I'm out of time. I love how we both did that.
Because that's how does it. So, okay, you don't have to do this, and you could say, no, I don't want to. But would you be open to singing one of the songs that you have created? No! That face! No, but would you? No? You can or you can't?
Singing a song that we've created. Okay, I sang a song. You know who Peter Sagal is? He's on, he's the guy on NPR who does a show called Wait, Don't Tell Me. I think it's on Sunday mornings, maybe Saturday mornings. Who knows? Because it's like a podcast too, so you can listen. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, Peter Sagal told a story at Story Jam once that was about his finding. He was in a running club. He's a runner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's in a running club with all these guys, and they're talking about the guy stuff. And Peter's going through a divorce, and it's all guys and women suck. But then there's Paula, who's in the running club with him. And Paula's like, listen, gentlemen. And she's English, I think, too. So we need an English accent. I don't know if you can do one.
Yes, I can do it. What would you like?
Wonderful. So Paula. So would you say Paula?
Paula.
Paula.
My name is Paula.
My name's Paula.
Yes.
So Paula is actually egging Peter on in the story, telling him, you know what, you should get out there. You need to go meet people. And she was such a pain in the ass about this that he decides he's going to go out there and meet people. He ends up meeting the love of his life, marrying her. And it's a lovely, lovely story. But I took the story instead of making it a story about Peter finding love, which is like, boring. I took Paula because I'm like, who's this Paula girl? Like she's out there telling the boys what to do in running club. So I wrote a song called Paula.
Yes.
And it's Paula. Wait, now I have to remember it. Hey, Paula, just tell me what to do. You're a most unusual, unsuspected guru. Hey, Paula, you're stern and harsh, and you are cruel, but Paula, I owe it all to you. You're going to have to edit that. You're going to have to edit that.
I know, I love it. I'll clip it so it's all tight.
Okay.
I love. So what would you say to people who are interested in storytelling? How would you encourage them?
Oh my gosh. Tell your stories. Work on your stories. Go to open mics.
Yes.
Easy peasy. If you're interested in doing this, it's really a vibrant, cool community. It's sort of underground and it's really just, you'll meet the most interesting, unique people. And I'm talking about the person who you don't even think of as unique. I'm talking about the suburban housewife lady who doesn't look like anything exciting ever happens to her. Well, just you wait. Because
have you seen Breaking Bad?
Because there is a story in there and that comes out at these shows, and it's, you bond with people. I've made lifelong friends with people. Take classes. Classes are amazing. I took every class.
Yes.
Even though I was still teaching during the pandemic, I decided to take every single class I could take. I love the classes, repeat the classes, learn and watch, and they're not expensive. And otherwise, call me.
Yes. And I was going to say, people, if they're interested in hearing about your classes, they can go to
storyjamstudio.com. Yes.
And that's where they can find out what classes are going on. You've got online, you've got in person in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then Story Jam.
Yes.
Where you can find the events is
storyjamshow.com.
storyjamshow.com. If you want to see one of her amazing Story Jam performances.
Yes.
And storyjamstudio.com if you are interested in taking a writing storytelling class.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, I mean,
Thank
highly
you.
recommended. She is such an amazing person and enthusiast, and she's passionate. She's a great teacher. She's a great performer. And your boldness and your trailblazing to just create this environment that you were like, I have an idea to create this world. And now it's there. And it is such a delight to watch you evolve. And I'm so, so thankful that you came on the Spiritual Shitshow with Suzanne Sole podcast. Woo! So thank you, Stephanie Rogers, so much
Suzanne
for joining
Sole.
me. It was such a gift.
Oh, you're a gift.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.com. Okay. Oh my God. And that is part 3, the grand finale with the brilliant, hilarious, luminous Stephanie Rogers. If you didn't already want to sign up for a storytelling class, go see Story Jam, or explore your own creative endeavor, you probably do now. Stephanie is living proof that our stories matter, our creativity is medicine, and our weirdest, boldest parts are usually the ones pointing us toward the ultimate creative expression. Thank you to the fabulous Stephanie Rogers for joining me and sharing her story. If you want to learn more about Stephanie and Story Jam, go to storyjamshow.com. Anyways, as always, this has been the Spiritual Shitshow podcast. My name is Suzanne Sole. Thank you so motherfucking much for listening, and I will see you on the next one. Roll it like you've never rolled it before.